All right, let's start with the GEM system. Do you like this GEM for Griscom Economic Minute?
It sounds a little luxurious.
Well, I was also thinking like this is my guide to socialism, the GEM system. Want to succeed in real estate, but also impress people at a party?
That's how we have to package socialism,
Yeah.
like one of those infomercials.
Yeah. Hi.
5 steps to the dictatorship of the proletariat.
Right.
G, get all the money. Eradicate the enemies.
It's in 5 steps. G's for get out all the money. E's for eradicate. Now, this is going to sound a little extreme, but we're going to break it down, guys. By the time we break it down, it's going to be really simple. There was a group called the Cossacks. Sorry, go ahead.
This show just degenerates into like really weird historical rants about Russian characters. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that everybody had a solid background.
That would be Marco Rubio if he was a communist. He'd be like, hey, I'm Marco Rubio. I want to introduce you to a thing called democratic socialism. It's an awesome system for not only improving your life, but also your friends and neighbors. Hi, I'm Marco Rubio.
I just want to update people as to the theme song. This was sent in by SoulBrother215 Infinite Content on Twitter. This is the Philly News and Philly theme, WPVI TV. So.
This is not bad.
It's going for the mayhem vibe. Yeah, so I just wanted to talk. It actually fits with this section because this was a
All right,
huge
go ahead, you
disaster
little motherfucker.
This was a huge disaster last week. So if you didn't notice, the stock market had a huge sell-off last week.
Yes.
In just 2 days, the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped more than 1,300 points.
Whoa, I'm sorry. I feel really rude here. How's everybody's portfolios looking? I'm sorry, I didn't ask this earlier.
You know, I've been investing pretty widely, so I wasn't hit as hard. But
You diversified your bonds?
I've been diversifying my portfolio.
You diversified
well,
your
if you
bonds?
buy bonds, it's actually a good move.
I can't finish that thought. That's from a great Chappelle Show sketch.
Yeah, so, you know, there's a pretty massive sell-off last week. And just to put it in some numbers that we can understand and also to laugh at a little bit, there were some very big losers last week. Some of our favorite people, Jeff Bezos took one of the largest hits. $12 billion in value evaporated over 2 days.
Boo-boo.
Alphabet CEO Larry Page lost $2.3 billion in value. And Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg also saw his shares drop $1.7 billion. So, of course, this led to a lot of debate about what the what the reasons behind this massive sell-off were. And, you know, I'll just go over them real quick. Is like sort of what we've been talking about. One is the Federal Reserve is going to be, you know, is rising interest rates. And that has, you know, sort of ended the cheap money era that has sort of blown up, you know, sort of propped up the stock market through, you know, things like corporate buybacks and things like that. It made money cheap. So there's a lot of money to go around. Now, of course, that money never trickled its way down into investing into corporations or investing into the working people or wage increases. It really just went to inflate stocks. So that's a big blow for them. And the other thing is a trade war with China, which looks to be getting worse. Now, so where are we? You know, Morgan Stanley's chief U.S. equity strategist, Mike Wilson, said that this is likely to be a continuing trend in the coming months. But over the past couple of days, we've actually seen, as typically happens, a market rebound. So, you know, I've been getting a lot of people asking me about this, and I just really want to make this very clear to people.
Now, is the camera on you so people can see the Bernie hand motions that he's making? Well, that's Bill Clinton there. It's like the Wall Street is not the real economy. You want to do communist Bill?
I can't do the good Bill Clinton accent.
All right. Well, keep going and I'll translate it.
You know, the stock market is not the economy. What the stock market is a way for rich people to pay themselves off of the value that they've already extracted from the people who create value in this country, which are the working class. Now, it's really important that we understand this because people oftentimes like to take cheap political hits at their opponents. Analysts love to do this, is to point to the stock market. Trump does this all the time. Whenever the stock market is up, oh, look how great I am on the economy. Democrats do this too on the opposite. Oh, look how bad Trump is on the economy. This misses the point. The point is very simple. It's been the point of the past 40 years of the U.S. economy, which is that as we've shifted our perspective of how what a good economy looks like by looking at the stock market, by tying CEOs' compensation to the stock market, by creating laws that encourage corporations and have CEOs have duties to make sure that shareholder value is increased all the time, that we've created this bizarre economy where the number one most important thing is to increase shareholder value for stockholders. This is a small portion of the population, and it doesn't do stuff that creates a strong real economy for workers. It certainly hasn't helped out with wages for working people in the United States. And this is what happens when you have a contradiction between fictitious capital, which is what stocks basically are, right, and the real economy. And these are opposite sides of the spectrum, because the more money that you extract for increasing stock value, so when you do things like sell everything that is in Toys R Us and fire all the employees and pull off a massive profit for yourself, that's in contradiction with creating an economy that's putting people to work and is creating some value or meaning or creating some service in people's lives. Instead, there's this focus on creating shareholder value, which is something that can be so abstract from any kind of real or material reality for people that it's completely nonsensical, and has created this very tiered system that we have in the U.S. economy, where some people are so fixated on the movement of fictitious capital, which can evaporate in a day and can grow back the next day, because it does not necessarily represent the actual on-the-ground material reality of production in the U.S. economy. It's just as a guess on future profits, and then it is a legal title to extract future profits. And we need to be really clear about that and to stop focusing on it so much, because if we don't, we're not going to be able to get out of this hellhole cycle that we've been living in for the past 30 years, where we just try to inflate the stock market to make everyone think that the economy is doing good when people really are struggling to get by on their basic needs.
I got a question for y'all. When LeBron scores a point, do you think you scored? That's right, you're not on the floor. You're not in that game. Same thing with Wall Street, except when Wall Street scores a point, it's at your expense. And when LeBron scores a point, you cheer. So you need to get out of this false consciousness of thinking of yourself as an investor and understand that you're part of an exploited class. It's the only way we're going to move forward.
Michael, that hurts me, because when the Texas Longhorns scored a touchdown, I scored a touchdown. Right.
See, that's the type of delusion that's at work. That's the fairy tale that capitalists have been telling people since time immemorial to divide them from their actual interests. Good stuff, as always. David Griscom, the GEM system. Winning in life and politics with socialism. And now we have, I believe the GEM system comes from Thames Darwin, prominent, not only a Smarty Pants patron, but actually the guest on the illicit history of German socialism and German social democracy, which Alexa understands better than Steven Crowder.
I was going to try to find a Nixon tape to go with that, because there's a famous Nixon tape. It's actually, people can look it up. I just couldn't find the sound the time, but it's like, I think in May 4th, 1972, Nixon's talking about the stock market, and he says, the American people, the middle, the gray American, they're suckers, and they're talking about the stock market going up and how they can be manipulated by that stuff.